What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Health Facts podcast. My name is Leon.
And I'm Jess. And here we talk about all things health and fitness and giving you the best tips to achieving your goals.
So, hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Let's get into it. Welcome back. So last episode we talked about goals and breaking those bigger goals down into monthly, weekly, and even daily goals. So This week we want to talk about habit building and staying consistent with those habits to work towards your bigger goals.
Yeah, because that's ultimately what will lead you to reaching these goals, is being consistent and having those habits in place.
So by doing that, by breaking those goals down into weekly, monthly, or daily habits, you start to create goals. You start to create daily habits that will get you closer to your goal each day.
Yeah.
And I saw this article online because I was doing a bit of research about this, and it said that one of the ways to build a habit is going to the gym every day.
Like jump in the deep end type of mentality.
And this is so wrong because that's only going to lead to a burnout.
Yeah, massively.
So we want to give you some great tips on how to build those habits and make sure that you're consistent with those habits.
Yeah, because if you're doing that and jumping straight in the deep end and doing it extremely, like going to the gym every day, from day one, you're not just going to burn out, but it won't be manageable either. Won't be sustainable. So you won't be able to continue doing that. So you're going to burn out too quick, won't be able to manage it, and end up going backwards.
Yeah, exactly. So our first tip, I guess, is introduce one habit every week or every 3 days, whichever suits you best.
Yeah, once a week is a good starting point.
You need to start off easy and then build from there. You can't expect to write a list of 7 habits and start them from day one. Done. You need to start small and build up from there.
Doing that's not realistic. So yeah, starting small, starting easier, at least one thing a week, and then eventually you'll get into building habits better that way.
Yeah. And start simple too. Don't be too complicated with your habits when you first start out.
So going from the post you read, rather than going to the gym every day, you could commit to 2 days a week just from the beginning. But that would be your one habit you've started for that week. Yeah. And then just work on that. Then if you want to go extra, you can add it on as you go, but don't try and do too much at first.
Yeah. The next tip we have is always reassess how you feel and reassess your progress. So every 3 to 4 weeks, take a moment to look back, see how you're going. Do you need to change any of those daily habits? Is something not working for you?
If they're working in your favor or not.
Yeah. Is there something that you can do more, like increase your habits? It's always important to reflect on your journey and reassess.
Yeah. See if you like doing it as well. Because things that you start doing, you need to enjoy it. Even though you have to put in hard work and be a bit restrictive sometimes, you still need to enjoy what you're doing so you can do it for the long term.
Yeah.
So reassessing if you actually like, for example, the training plan you're doing or the schedule, how much sleep you're getting, how much food you're eating. If you don't like any of that stuff and you're forcing yourself to do that, then it won't last long either. You need to find a balance of doing good things for yourself plus something that you can maintain for the long term.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. So the next tip is set reminders or keep a to-do list. So, for example, I downloaded this free app. It's called Habits. And I can set reminders for myself every day on things to do like read, work out, make sure my diet's on track. And I can also view that progress. So across the past month.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to track it like that too.
Yeah. So apps like that, or if you want to use your calendar, you can do that because I know Google Calendar has the ability to create habits and reminders. So that's also a good tool to use.
Yeah.
Or if you're old school, write it down.
Yeah, write it down, write it out. Sometimes that's a bit more powerful too, just seeing it in your face and physically writing it out. Just like we were saying about goals. Writing it out, bringing it out into the world just makes it a bit more meaningful and powerful.
Yeah, I definitely find that writing it in my diary, writing all my habits out for every day in my diary also helps me keep on track.
I used to have a little habit book that you would write it in the side,
Yeah.
and then it would be Monday to Sunday, and then you could tick off, like just say you had a list of 3 habits for the week from Monday to Sunday. You can tick across the days that you completed that habit,
Yeah.
and then tracking it and seeing your progress and seeing if you how many times you've skipped it and how many times you haven't stuck to it. It does help a lot, and that was a physical thing that I was writing out.
Yeah.
So tracking it, and there's a good saying going around that whatever is tracked gets improved. So if you're not tracking it, you won't improve on it, because you won't notice the dips that you have, the days that you're skipping stuff. You won't exactly know or be conscious of it unless you're tracking it properly. So it's good to see your track record, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good way to see how you're progressing. Next tip is, if you can, grab a friend.
Yeah, this helps a lot of people in the beginning of their fitness journeys as well.
Having a buddy, because you're more likely to keep each other accountable.
Definitely.
You can motivate each other.
Sometimes you can sabotage each other too, so make sure you get a good training partner or buddy, because if they're like, oh, I feel like skipping the gym, and you're already thinking it, that's not a good mix.
No.
So then you're both going to skip. So find someone that can motivate you, and you can motivate them too.
Yeah, exactly. The next tip is looking at your environment. What is your environment like? Is it motivating you, or is it holding you back?
Like friends, family groups, friend groups, like stuff like that. People that you work with, are they coming in with cakes and biscuits and everything at lunchtime and like shoving it in your face, and you're always trying to fight yourself to not have it? Or is there ways around that you can bring your own kind of snacks so you don't miss out on those times, and just ways around things that are going to sabotage you? Like you need to reflect on what your environment around you looks like. Yeah,
exactly. And also at home, like, what's your pantry look like?
Yeah, if you've got chocolate and chips and everything, you're obviously going to eat it and know it's there and go and snack on it.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, like giving yourself healthy snacks around the house, or not even having them. Going to buy like 1 block of chocolate and knowing that's going to last you like a whole week or a couple of weeks. Not buying a whole stash of them and then just eating a whole block a day.
Exactly.
Even with your friends and your family, if you're living with a lot of family that cook, I can think of, if you're watching this, one of our clients, she'll know exactly who I'm talking about, but she's always trying to cook her own meals and be really healthy, but her family always wants KFC and McDonald's and stuff.
Oh no.
So she's had to fight to go and get those meals for her family, but then she'll come home and cook for herself.
Yeah.
So learning those habits, that was a hard one to do.
Yeah,
especially when everyone around you is eating like bad food like that.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get into these things, but assessing your environment needs to be done so you can realize these patterns.
And highlight those things that are going to hold you back, and find other ways to work around them. Yeah. See, for your example that you just gave.
Yeah, finding how to work, like how to still like keep that environment happening, but still benefit from it.
Yeah, a good way is to be prepared with your meals as well.
Yeah.
So you can easily just grab your meal out of the fridge, pop it in the microwave or on the stove, oven, whatever that might be, and it's ready to go.
Yeah. That's something we've been doing for years, and we've been advising people.
Yeah.
This makes it so much easier when you're prepared, you have your meals with you. If you're at lunch and everyone's going to a certain place to order something, and you wouldn't have the willpower to not have that, it helps having your own meal. So you're like, no, I'm good. I've already got my lunch here. So it definitely helps. Yeah.
And that brings us to our next tip. So know the benefits.
Yeah. Why you're doing this as well.
Exactly. If you constantly remind yourself why you're doing this, how you feel after you work out, or how you feel after you get 8 hours sleep, whatever your habit might be, just constantly think about the benefits and how it's going to help you in the long term as well, because this is a long-term lifestyle change.
Yeah. You need to get these habits built in. So reminding yourself, like, for example, how many times have you wanted to skip the gym and then you're like, no, I need to do it. I know how good I'm going to feel, because you always feel great after working out.
Yeah, 100%.
So just remember what it's going to feel like and how rewarding that feeling is and how much that's going to benefit you towards your goals as well. So once you're thinking about skipping the gym, and on rest days, that's fine. Like if you've scheduled rest days, we'll get into that in a second. But on days that you are feeling lazy and you want to get out of it, if you don't have that accountability partner to help you stay in, just make sure you remind yourself about the benefits and why you plan to go in the first place.
Yeah.
And you know you'll feel good after it.
And it helps to think about your day ahead. If you think
Yeah.
about your day, you're like, okay, what have I got on? Okay, it's a pretty busy
Yeah.
day. I need that extra energy. What I find when I work out in the morning, I've got so much more energy
Yeah.
throughout the day to keep me working and doing what I have to do.
Yeah.
So that also helps.
And on the other end, if you know, like if you can see your day and you've got a long day and you won't finish till later at night and you're planning to go and train after work, knowing that you're going to be so dead and there's a high chance you're going to skip that and just go straight home, get it done earlier. Same thing,
Yeah.
go in the morning, get it over with so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I say to all of our clients, like making sure, like promoting them to work out in the morning, because if you feel better, like you said, you have more energy, plus you get it out of the way. So once you have a big day of work, you won't have to like force yourself to try and go. Like it's
Yeah.
already done. You can go home and you tick that thing off the list already.
Yeah. And that brings us into the next tip. So make sure you schedule in time to rest and recover.
Yeah, rest
Because
time,
that's
rest
super
days.
important.
Yeah. Recovery. That all comes down to recovery.
Yeah.
Like what we were saying about not going to the gym 7 days in a row from the beginning.
Yeah.
There's no rest in that. You're just going to burn out. You're going to fatigue too much, and it's not going to last very long. So, scheduling your rest days or days you're not going to train and try and do just fully relax or
Yeah.
like do some recovery methods, some stretching, some walking, something that's going to help you. But making sure you rest so you can continue to do this and you won't burn out and be too fatigued.
But also scheduling in time to do something for yourself, something
Yeah.
that you love, whether that's going for a walk along the beach on the weekend or reading a book,
Yeah.
whatever that might be. Do something that makes you happy.
Yeah. It's not always about the physical stuff. It's
Yeah.
a lot of mental progression that you're looking for as well.
100%.
And mental recovery from stressful. We all go through stressful weeks as well. So it's not always about the training.
Yeah. So that concludes our habit building tips.
Yeah.
It's always important to reflect, start off simple, grab a
don't
buddy.
go too hard, too quick.
Grab a buddy to help you along your journey.
Yeah.
Do it together.
To-do lists, reminders, making sure you're set and you know what you're going to do, like planning out your week or planning out your day. Have
Yeah.
everything ready that you can just go through your day and tick it all off as you're going.
Yeah. And by building these habits and taking all this on board, it's going to create a routine for you
Yeah.
that you're just going to end up doing without even having to think about
it'll be
it.
second nature doing this stuff after. But you have
Yeah.
to put the work in to grow and to build these habits.
Yeah. It's
'Cause
always hard at the start.
Yeah. But the same as bad habits. The bad habits that you might be in now and you already identify, you didn't just start them all of a sudden. You've
Yeah.
gradually grown into those bad habits. And that took consistency. Doing those things consistently got you there. So same thing. What's going to build these new and good habits for yourself, it has to be consistent. And that's why starting off easy is going to help. Starting off with one thing every week just to gradually build that. And then eventually all of this will be easy. You won't have to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. And if you are cutting out stuff like, for example, dessert after dinner, replace it with something.
Yeah.
What can you replace it with? What's a healthy alternative?
Alternatives help a lot instead of just trying to cancel everything out.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it's not so healthy still, and it's like half as bad as what your regular dessert is, that's still an improvement.
Yeah.
And then eventually you can make it quarter and then less and less and less until you have a healthy dessert, until you don't even feel like having any desserts or anything.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a gradual progress.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us today. If you have any questions, reach out to us on our social media channels. It's at Achieve Performance Fitness on Instagram and
Yep.
Achieve Performance on Facebook.
Yes. All right. I hope you enjoyed that episode, guys. Episode 2. We'll see you in the next one.
See ya.